Hello again, welcome to Cloudy Tech. Today we're going to talk about introduction to Azure Bastion. What is Azure Bastion and how we can use it? We will take a demo and we will explain the architecture of the Azure Bastion. So basically we'll start with the Azure Bastion introduction definition. What is the Azure Bastion? So as we can see here from Microsoft Docs, the definition is Azure Bastion is a fully managed service that provides more secure and seamless remote desktop protocol RDP and secure shell protocol SSH access to virtual machine VMS without any expose through public IP address. And I will keep the link in the description so you can check it. So what does it mean exactly? Using an Bastion service, as we know, it's a service from Azure to secure our connection to virtual machines. Instead of using a public IP attached to the virtual machine, we can just ignore that public IP and use this service to secure our connection to the virtual machines under our tenant using this subnet under the VNet, which is delegated for the Azure Bastion. So as we can see here, the end user will connect to the Azure portal by using his credential. Then from the portal, he will use this service connect and he will use the Bastion instead of RDP, which use a public IP. In our case here, Azure Bastion is not using any public IP attached to the VM to connect. So he would use this option, Azure Bastion, then will be connected to the virtual machine using his credential securely through the Bastion service. So we will jump to our demo here and create our Bastion service for today. We will just type Bastion in the search bar and we will click on it. We will hit on create to create our first service for this demo. Then we will fill the details that we have here for our project details. We'll choose the subscription and the resource group that we already have one here. For the instant details, we will type a name for our Bastion service here. We can call it as we need. Bastion VM, for example. We will choose the region and the tier. As we can see here, we have basic and the standard. And for the basic, we have only 2 instance count that we can connect at the same time. For the standard, the maximum, as we can see, it's 50 VM can use this service at the same time. We will just keep the basic for our demo for today and save more money. For the virtual machine, we need to create a new virtual machine here, and we will just give it a name, a unique name for our service. We will call it Bastion VNet. And for the subnet, as we can see, we need to have a /26. So it's one of the requirement, and the name, it should be Azure Bastion subnet, otherwise it will not work. And we need to use this range as well, /26, and we will hit OK. And for the public IP address, we will create a new one, and this public IP address will be used only for the service, not to connect to the virtual machines. And we will hit next for tagging. Advanced next. We will keep everything as the default for our demo, and we will just wait. And as we can see, the validation is passed. We will just review our summary of the resources that we will be created, and we will just hit create and we will wait until the deployment is done. I will just speed up the video so we can just move on to the next step once the service is created and ready to be used. Okay, as we can see, we will go just to the virtual machine. I have one VM here already created previously, and we will just connect to this virtual machine. We can, under settings, we can see connect, or the other option from connect here, we can see Bastion. We will just click on Bastion. Once we click, we will have the option to connect by username and the password. No need to have a public IP to connect. We will just use it through the portal itself, and once we connect, it will open another web secure browser, and we are already in the virtual machine that we have. And that's all for today. We will just do the cleanup. We will just delete our resource group just to avoid any extra cost of the resources that is not in use. Thank you for watching. And here we can see the document from Microsoft, the definition, and explain exactly what is the Azure Bastion. Here we can see the Bastion is a service you deploy that let you connect to a virtual machine using a browser and the Azure portal. And we can see the architecture of the service, the key benefits of the Azure Bastion. I will keep the link in the description. I just share it with you so you can check it. And here we can see the SKUs and the feature and between the basic and the standard one. Again, we can see the architecture here. And finally, the pricing of each SKU.